are 2 recipe slides. You're welcome to stop the video and take a couple of pictures if you'd like. Hi, it's time for Cooking with Marion. Only we're not cooking today. We're recipe making. We're making 2 different kinds of milk, almond milk and coconut milk. And then we are going to make a chocolate shake. Now, just to scare you, it's healthy chocolate shake. Yes, we will experiment and see what you guys think of it. And anytime you're watching one of these, by all means, send a picture of what you did. Last week we did bread, and this week we're doing the milks and the chocolate shake. And I'd like to know, I would love to know how you like it and what you think about it. So like with your bread, send pictures. And oh, I didn't put that on my other thing. I didn't mention that for last week. Well, I'll mention it now. And as you test these out, either take pictures of you drinking what we make and see what you think, and just let me know, because maybe I'll never do it again if you hate it. So the first thing we're going to make is some almond milk. Oh, hold. Hands. Gotta wash them first, right? Right. So I'll wash my hands. Now, as we make these, be sure that your adult is near you to help you with the things that you are not supposed to be touching, okay? Good. Now, for this, for the chocolate shake, you need to have 2 frozen bananas. So if you haven't done that, that's something that you need to do right now. All right? And you may have to make this tomorrow instead. But that's okay. It's a video recording. And again, I apologize for the low tech, but that's the way it goes sometimes. All right? Shall we do this? This will be great. All right. Almond milk. So I need my heavy duty blender, and this one blends really nicely. And for my almond milk, if you don't have the recipe, then you need to download it from Dallas Community School, okay? And so I am actually making half of the almond milk recipe that I sent. Sometimes I make it half and sometimes I make it full. But basically, 1/4 cup into the dry blender. Now we're going to get a lot of noise going because we got to get those almonds chopped. So see how nice that works? I don't even know if you can hear me say, see how nice that works? Okay, so I've got my almonds all nice and chopped up, right? Then I am going to add, oh, and I have everything ready today. So if you need to get stuff along the way, then by all means do. Let me show you my recipe right quick. I'm using this half the recipe. 1/4 cup almonds, 1 1/4 cup of water, I can't read it from here, 1 teaspoon honey. That's optional. I don't usually put honey in mine. 1/2 a teaspoon of vanilla and a dash of salt. So that is our almond stuff. So I blended these, chopped them all up first. Then I'm going to add my water, which I have ready. Then I'm going to add my vanilla, and guess what? I got that ready before pushing the record button. Oh, don't spill it. There we go. Got the vanilla taken care of. A dash of salt. Okay, this is a salt shaker, right? There's my dash. I put a little salt in. That's all I need. Now what I'm going to do is I have to blend it for about 1 minute. Now with this blender, I'm actually not supposed to let it run for a full minute. So I let it run for about 15 seconds and then I do it again. Now your blender may be just fine. I just have to be careful with this one because that's what the instructions said. I know it looks like I'm staring off into space, but I'm watching my time. So I let it rest for a few seconds there and I'll go for another 15 seconds. Okay, let it rest for a few seconds. I'm just down to 15 more seconds and that's 1 minute. Okay, and if you had wanted to put your honey in during all of that blending was when to do it. I should have said that and I apologize. All right, so I've now made some almond milk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this out into my jar and then I'm going to let it settle. All of that chopped up almond is going to settle to the bottom. In fact, it's already starting. You can kind of see it starting to settle at the bottom, but I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to get out the big guns here. Yes, I have 2 of them. My mother gave me this one a long time ago, and I happen to have kept it all this time because it works. But it's such a hefty thing that sometimes I don't like getting it out. Okay, do I have it ready? Yes, yes, yes. Good. All right. This is the coconut milk. This is so good. And what I usually do is I blend my coconut milk with my almond milk. But after it all settles and it's strained is what it's called. Okay. So what I have to have is 1.5 cups of coconut. Oh, shredded coconut. And I don't use the sweetened kind of coconut. If you want to, I guess that's fine. I use the unsweetened coconut. And that's because, you know, I'm diabetic and I can't eat a lot of sugar or any sugar. Okay. So I got my 1.5 cups of unsweetened, shredded dried coconut in there. It was dry. Now it says that I need 2.5 cups of very hot water. That's what it says right here on my coconut recipe, very hot water. So I'm letting my hot water heat up on my tea kettle hot water heater thing right there. I had heated it up earlier, but that was earlier, so I'm letting it finish up. I'm letting it boil, is what I'm letting it do. And that is all I need. And then it says, now it says that I need 2.5 cups of hot water, but I'm only going to use 1.5 cups first so that I don't get so much water in here that it just bubbles up to the top and makes a lot of foam. Okay. And I hear the tea kettle, it's done. The hot water heater, I guess. I don't know what it's called. Let's see, what did I just tell you? 1.5 cups of very hot water. There we go. 1.5 cups of very hot water. I pour it in. You notice I'm being very careful with the very hot water. And sometimes I've just done very hot water out of the tap rather than boiling up water. So you can do that too. I just like trying the boiling stuff. Okay. So this one's going to be really loud. Gotta get it on. Be sure you're careful with your equipment and things like lids. Let me show you this one. See, it clicks on right here. So you got to make sure you get your lids on straight because you don't want all of that liquid to go throughout your house. Okay, here we go. Making sure, do I want it at medium or high? Medium or high? Blend on high. Oh, high. And that would be why I always reread my instructions. Okay, and here we go. It's going to be loud. Sorry. Sounds like it got really thick. And so I am going to put in my other cup. Yes, 1 more cup of hot water. I'm going to do a little bit more than 1 cup. And the reason is because as I listened to it, you heard it start to slow down in there. Well, I need it. I still need it kind of liquidy. It is supposed to be coconut milk, not coconut pudding. Although coconut pudding does sound good, doesn't it? Okay, I gotta make sure I put these on right. And if you need your mom or your adult to help you, or you're supposed to ask for help, then you do that. I always kind of hold my handle to make sure it doesn't go too far. Oh, that's loud. So loud so that my Zoom recording is asking me, are you playing music in the background? No, I'm not. But it wants me to set up my professional audio and audio settings. No, not playing music, am I? Okay, good. Now what I'm going to do with this one, now that I've blended it up, I'm going to blend it up a little more. I just want it extra smooth. Okay. There, that is that. I have my other jar. I'm going to let this sit now. And unplug it. Again, if you're supposed to let an adult help you, please do so. Do not do this by yourself at home, unless you're allowed, unless you have permission. And if you're an adult, then I guess you can do it any way you want. All right, so there, I'm gonna move this out of my way. But of course, I gotta figure out where to move it. Okay, good. Now, here is from the coconut milk. And I know that makes a lot more than this, but that's okay. I'm going to let this one sit now, okay? And let all of the coconut move on down so that it's down on the bottom. And then I'm going to strain it, okay? And can you see all that almond gathering down there at the bottom? Okay, a little bit, I'm going to strain that. Now let me show you something else I sometimes do. It's nothing fancy. Okay, I get some coconut milk and this kind. All right, I'm going to just, I am so not trying to advertise here, just let you know. This is actually from Walmart. I love the can, the top can. And what I usually do is I read the ingredients, because some of the coconut milks that I've looked at have tons of ingredients and all I want is coconut milk. And this one says coconut milk, water, guar gum. And that's all. So that's what I use. And I just have to take off the top. Now this stuff, when it's cooled, and it's been sitting out in my garage for a while, so it's kind of cool. And it's got some great thick coconut cream. Like that. Isn't that great? I love it. You did not just hear me lick my finger. Okay, you did. Don't lick your finger when you're cooking, all right? Or recipe making. Unless you know that it's only going to be you and you eating the stuff. So let me pick that up a little. So I'm going to, what I do with this, well, now I need to put this back down so you can see. Now, see that? That is the cream on top of the coconut milk. And that's kind of why I like this brand as well. Because sometimes what I do is I just take out the cream, put it in the fridge, let it sit, and then I can use the coconut cream on top of desserts. Okay, now this has, in a second, let me get this. Got some thick stuff, but then it also has a lot of liquid stuff. And I think I only have so much thick stuff, like I said, because when it gets nice and kind of cold, where on my shelves in the garage, then it just kind of congeals and doesn't get all nice and thick like that. Now it's thick enough. That's what's so wonderful about this. It's thick enough that I can add a can of water to make this into just a lighter coconut milk. So what I do is I fill the can with water. I pour some of it in, but I leave some in here, and that's so that I can get the rest on the edges. I hate wasting coconut milk. I love coconut milk. All right, so there we go. I've just made two different kinds of coconut. One that I've actually used real coconut, and this one where I've used an already canned. And can you just go buy it? Yes, yes. If you want to just buy coconut milk and almond milk, or a mix of almond milk and coconut milk, you're welcome to do so. But I just wanted to show you this. to see what you thought about it. Try it. Try a taste test now and see which one you like better. This one is still warm, and although you can, there's a little bit of separation here. See down here, we got all of this, and this is all fluffy foam. So let me show you right quick. This is in my way. So I'm going to taste test, but before I do that, since I've got all of this down here, I am actually going to pour this back here, leaving much of the sediment, the stuff at the bottom of this jar, in the jar. I really don't want a lot of sediment in there. See? So this is what I have left over. It's kind of thick. Now, it is okay if you want to keep that and just leave this together. And then when you want to use it in cereal or whatever, you can just shake it. Okay? All right. What am I getting next? That is my almond milk. You can strain it too through a strainer and a big bowl, not that small because I've got holes all around it, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to save that for later. Then what I'm going to do, I have my coconut milk, and this was from the can. So I've already stirred it up. This is still very warm, and I don't want to do that one. Not yet, because now is the time for the chocolate shake. Okay, so I am actually going to mix the two of these in another, I can find it. There we go. Into another jar and get half almond milk. Whoops. See, there's more sediment, so I'm not going to get that done. Oh, I was showing you a taste test. So take a little and see what you think. Now, is this going to be different than milk that you buy at the store? Yes, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It'll just be different. Try it. Yep, it's good. I mean, I like it. Okay, now, coconut milk. Do I happen to know that I like this stuff? Yes. But maybe you don't know. So you should try it just a little bit. Maybe not even as much as I put in this little container. Okay, so I'm going to mix this together. Just some of it. There we go. Okay, I guess I know what I'm having on my cereal tomorrow. Now, let me see if that's still hot. Looks like it is so time for chocolate shake. Let me show you how that works. In the meantime, let me move these so they're not in my way. Okay, that's the almond one. Yep. Sorry, I was trying to remember what on earth I had just done. I am going to get this thing back again. And I'm going to my chocolate shake recipe. That is right. Chocolate peanut butter shake. I should have said that in the first place. All right. So I have on there 1 cup of milk. I'm going to get this one because my other one has all of that almond sediment, and I'm going to save that in my other almond sediment jar. So 1 cup of milk. This is the coconut and the almond mixed together, and that will work. Okay, verify 1 cup of milk. So pour it in. Good. Now, the next line said optional greens. What does that mean? Greens, spinach, lettuce, whatever. I do it because I like to. It adds a little bit more vitamins in there, and I don't find that it changes the taste. But you are welcome to not put them in, which is just fine. I've done that just as much. I mean, I've done that as well. And what I have to do on this one is if you're going to use greens, then you are going to have to be sure to put them in with the milk when nothing else is in here, okay? So here I go. I'm going to just blend it up real quick and make sure that the greens are all chopped in. Sometimes I stop, I look, see what's going on. Okay, that works. I am done with that portion. Now, the next thing is 1.5 tablespoons of cocoa. It says on the recipe 1.5. That's the same as 1.5. It says TB, capital T, capital B, which means tablespoon. You know what a tablespoon looks like, right? That is the biggest one on the set, and it actually says 1 tablespoon. Okay, so it wants me to have 1.5 of these. So I'm going to go get my baking cocoa and put it in. Okay, here's my baking cocoa. I need 1.5 tablespoons. Yes, I keep my baking cocoa in a big can. So if you were part of my class last week with the whole wheat bread, you can do the same thing here. Get your powder, your baking cocoa, just slide that right on off. And then you have 1. That's 1. 1/2 tablespoon is 1.5 teaspoons. But I happen to like the cocoa, so I'm actually going to use the tablespoon, but I won't use it totally full, just a little bit less. See? I didn't get it all the way up to the edge, but that's a little more than 1.5 on that, right? Then I need 1 heaping tablespoon of peanut butter or some other nut butter. Maybe you like almond butter or cashew butter or something, but I'm going to use a tablespoon of peanut butter. Okay, so there I go. I've got my tablespoon here. What is a heaping tablespoon? Well, that means that you're not doing where you slide it off and get an exact. This is where you are heaping it up. See, it goes over the spoon, and I've heaped it up. So in that goes, yay. Now I've really made a mess. Okay. Now I put those two things in there. The next thing on there is a tablespoon of maple syrup or some kind of sugar or sweetener. I don't do that because to me the frozen bananas add enough naturally sweetness to the whole thing, so I love it. So here we go. I'm doing the peanut butter before I do the bananas. I do all of the I didn't remember to have this ready, nor did I remember to have my paper towels ready. And I'm not even wearing my apron. What's with that? All right. I do all of my ingredients before the frozen bananas, because once you get those frozen bananas in there, things don't mix up so well. But same thing goes with the peanut butter. I got the few greens in there. Then I put in the cocoa. Then I put in the peanut butter. If I were using maple syrup or something like that, then I put that in there. And now we blend it more. I've even made this with water, just in case you don't want to use any kind of milk either with this. And it can be any kind of milk. So if you want almond milk or coconut milk, that might make it taste a little sweeter than regular milk. And then I've also done it with water because I didn't have any milk handy. So that's what I did. All right. I'm just making sure that it's really blended well. Now it's time for frozen bananas. Hold on. Also, what? Oh, yes. I need my spatula. I have my spatula ready because I may have to open this and push it down so that everything gets blended up really well. Frozen bananas. 2 frozen bananas. Now what I do with my frozen bananas, if I get a bunch of bananas and some of them are starting to get a little soft or brown, then I might go ahead and freeze them. As you can see, I peeled them, took the peeling off first, and then I put them in a freezer container and then froze them. And then I also broke them in half. All right, here we go. This asks for 2 frozen bananas, but I have halved my bananas, so I actually want 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will go back into the freezer. In the meantime, you're going to see what happens next. Oh, this is going to be good. I know we've just hit winter, but oh, I love these. Have them in the summer. Sounds like it's blending up really well. Getting a little thicker. Check that out. Yum. Now, let me show you playing with your food. What do I mean by that? I mean, you can decide to add something else into there. Okay. Sometimes I add ginger. That's my ginger spice. Sometimes I add cinnamon to it just because I like that. Sometimes I happen to have a peppermint oil, but peppermint extract also works. And I'll show you in a minute. I have to decide which one to do. Cinnamon, ginger. I'm going to go for some ginger, just a little bit. I'm just going to shake it in there a little at a time. I don't want a ton in there. I think I just accidentally put a ton. All right. Okay, that's all I want. Do I want peppermint? Not today. I just used the ginger. Let me show you what I will put in there in just a minute. I want to mix this up really well. Okay. There we go. And you think, oh, she's done. Wrong. I happen to have crushed chocolate. Okay, this is actually what's called cacao nibs, and they're a chocolate, but they're totally unsweetened. These have absolutely no sweetness to them at all. And if you're not used to that, don't put them in. But I bet you might have some chocolate chips, which I bet you like. But this is just crushed up cacao nibs. I just happen to like them in there. Now, this won't crush them totally because they're so crushed anyway. And sometimes I'll even put other kind of nuts in there if I happen to have them. Like I know we have walnuts on the shelf, but not right now. Okay, one more round, this time with the cacao nibs, and this time not too much. I just want to mix them, not chop them. And besides, I think they're too small to be chopped up anyway at this point. Okay, if you were adding chocolate chips, then I bet you'd get them all nice and chopped up in there. So I am going to use my spatula. I noticed that I didn't have to push down anything this time. Sometimes I'm making too much at one time, and so I have to push down the bananas so that they get all chopped up. And please be careful. These blades are really sharp, so if you're not supposed to be touching them, make sure your adult is with you. Okay, oh no, I messed all over the counter. All right, I just happen to have cups here, glasses. Okay, now I'm using my spatula to get all of that chocolatey goodness off of the edges. See, you can get more by using a spatula. Love it. I gotta make sure this is even so that me and my husband have an even share. If you like it, let me know. Email me with your pictures if you'd like. So here we go. I think the only thing I'd do differently is I'd make sure that I had the bananas more frozen, because then that would make this more ice creamy. But it's delicious. I mean, I like it. Maybe you won't. And you are welcome to tell me that too, because I am very interested in when people like it or hate it or love it. Just because it's interesting to see who all likes this kind of thing. And I think I would have frozen the bananas overnight, at least overnight. I think I put those in there this morning. Oh, and now it's, I put them in earlier today, and now I'm doing this video, and so I think a little bit more freezing on those bananas. But you guys, have fun with it. I hope it tastes wonderful for you. Talk to you later. Bye now.